In this tutorial, we will be discussing how to do a conversion. So just to make sure you realize, when you're doing conversion, you're changing the quantities to fraction by dividing by 1 and by multiplying by 1. You're not actually changing what the value is. You're changing the equalities to fractions, and the new fraction also equals 1. So you're multiplying by fractions that are equal to 1. And the canceling out units, which also equal 1. So once again, you're not actually changing the value. You're just changing the way it looks. For instance, if you say that there's 3 dozen eggs, is there any difference between saying 3 dozen or 36 eggs individually? Either way, you're going to have the same quantity. It means exactly the same thing, and that's what conversions are doing. So let's just talk about the background of the steps, and then we're going to do several practice problems. The first thing you want to do is determine the starting unit and the final unit and the conversion factors to get from one to the other. Make sure you write these out. If you do, it'll make your life a lot easier, so you can have a visual and you decide that way how to do these. Place the initial number that you're trying to convert over 1. This does not change the value, it only changes it into a fraction. Anything divided by 1 is itself. So 20 divided by 1 is 20. 50 divided by 1 is still 50. 5 eggs is divided by 1 is still going to be 5 eggs. Whatever unit is on the top of that fraction that you just wrote out should be on the bottom of the next fraction, to the bottom of the next line. This then cancels out the units, so eggs divided by eggs is equal to 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. And then you worry about the units first and then let the numbers follow. Otherwise you're going to get caught up in where the numbers go when in reality the unit should lead you. Write the equivalency of the top of the corresponding fraction. So look at the conversion factor. Think about the equal sign as a dividing line, literally. If you are looking for a specific unit, which you should be because whatever's on top should be on the bottom of the next one, the number on the same side of the equal sign will stay with that unit. Then you go from left to right, you multiply it by the top, and then you divide it by the bottom. The rest of this tutorial will be spent doing practice problems. Let's start with metric. You need to memorize your metric conversions, your metric prefixes. How many meters are in 2,000 millimeters? So we're going, first let's write out our units and conversion factors. We're going from millimeters to meters. We're going from a prefix and a base unit to just the base unit itself. So we need to look at what that prefix means. Milli. That means 1,000 millimeters is equal to 1 meter. A millimeter is much smaller than a meter, so it takes a lot of them to equal 1 meter. It takes 1,000 of them. The next step, put the number over 1. (2,000 millimeters) has been placed over 1. We have millimeters on top, so that's what we're going to put on the bottom of the next one. What's above is below, so millimeters on top, millimeters on bottom. Notice I looked at the units first, and then I'm going back to the conversion factor. That equal sign is the dividing line, so millimeters are here. 1,000 goes with that millimeters. That's equal to 1 meter. That will be on top. The equivalency is on the top of the corresponding fraction. Go from left to right, multiply the top, divide by the bottom. So 2,000 times 1 divided by 1,000 is 2. Let's look at the letters, the units. The millimeters cancel out and you're left with meters. What you're looking for should be on the top of the last line. If by chance you used a different conversion factor and you used it the reverse, 0.001 meter is equal to 1 millimeter, your number is going to turn out, the final answer is going to turn out the same. 2,000 millimeters. We have millimeters on top, so we need to put millimeters on the bottom. This time the 1 goes with the millimeter, and our top is 0.001 meters. Millimeters cancel, so 2,000 times 0.001 is equal to 2 meters. Let's try another one. How many grams are in 352 centigrams? Starting and ending units and the conversion factors. So we're starting with centigrams and we're going to grams. You have two different conversion factors you could potentially use depending on how you like to set it up. I like whole numbers, so 100 centigrams is equal to 1 gram, or 0.01 grams is equal to 1 centigram. It depends on your preference, whatever you want to do. But notice if you do 1 divided by 100, it comes out to be the same thing. And that's why you're able to go back and forth. So 352 centigrams over 1. Put the number over 1. Times the next fraction. We have centigrams on top. We want to put centigrams on the bottom of the next one. Look at our conversion factor. I'm going to use this one. 100 centigrams. What's above is below, so centigrams are on opposite sides. Equivalency on the top, so 1 gram. Left to right, 352 times 1 divided by 100, 3.52 grams. If you use this conversion factor, you should get the exact same answer. Alright, so let's throw in some metric and English together. So we have 98 kilometers, and they're asking about miles. Notice that you're given information from miles per meter, not per kilometer. That means we need to get to meters before we know to use the next conversion factor. So this is actually going to take 2 conversion factors to complete this. First one, we need to go kilometers to meters and then to miles. So 1,000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. And then meters to miles, 0.000621 miles is equal to 1 meter. And that's given to you in the question itself. So we have our starting and ending units in the conversion factors. Now put the number over 1. So 9.8 kilometers goes over 1. Keep wanting to put parentheses. Let's do a time sign. So we have kilometers on the top. We need to put kilometers on the bottom of the next one. Now let's look at our conversion factors. Which of our conversion factors actually has kilometers in the conversion? And that would be the top one. So that's the one I'm going to focus on. So kilometers, the 1 is next to it. Then what it's equal to will be on the top, 1,000 meters. Put the number over 1, 9.8 over 1. What's on above should be below, so kilometers, kilometers, the equivalency on the top, which is 1,000 meters. Now we're going to do steps 2, 3, and 4 again. So we have kilometers canceled out. We now have meters on the top. I usually like to cross out the conversion factor after I use it so it doesn't confuse me. So I have meters on top. I want to put meters on the bottom. I look for meters in my conversion factor that I have left over, and I have a 1. That's equal to, so the equivalency of the top, 0.000621 miles. So 9.8 times 1,000 times 0.000621 divided by 1 divided by 1. That comes out to be 6.08 miles. Alright, so let's do some where it's not a memorization conversion factor. A paper clip weighs 1 gram. So let's think about the words and what they're trying to tell me. 1 paper clip is equal to 1 gram. Estimate how many paper clips. So I'm looking for the quantity of paper clips. So paper clip will be on the top of the last line. will be in a 0.5 kilogram box. So I need to figure out how many paper clips are in 0.5 kilograms. So the conversion factors, we start off with kilograms. We need to go to grams. And then from there we're going to go to paper clips. Put PC. Alright, so let's think of our conversion factors. We're going from kilograms to grams. There's 1,000 grams in every kilogram. Now from here, I have this conversion factor I already wrote down. Kilograms cancel. We have grams on top, which means I want grams on the bottom. We have 1 gram, and we have 1 paper clip on the top, because for every paper clip is 1 gram. So 0.5 times 1,000 times 1. That comes out to be 500 paper clips. We have 2 more to do. Angela is recovering from surgery. The doctor told her to lift no more than 20 pounds in the next 3 weeks. A carton of powdered carpet cleaner weighs 5 kilograms, and she's not allowed to go past 20. The 3 weeks are there to throw you off. You don't actually need those 3 weeks. Should Angela lift the carton? So let's figure out how many pounds are in 5 kilograms. So the starting to ending, we start with kilograms and we're converting it over to pounds. We have a conversion factor right here. 2.205 pounds is equal to 1 kilogram. So we have our starting and ending units and our conversion factor. Now let's put our number over 1. So 5 kilograms over 1. We have kilograms on the top, so I want to put kilograms on the bottom, the next one. The number 1 goes with kilograms. 2.205 pounds is what it's equal to. Kilograms cancel, so 5 times 2.205 comes out to be 11.025 pounds. So can she lift it? Yes, because it's under 20 pounds. And then one final problem. If Peter drove 300 miles at a rate of 50 miles per hour, that gives us our conversion factor of 50 miles is equal to 1 hour. Find the number of hours traveled. So, our conversion factors in our starting and ending. We start with miles and we end up with hours. Here's miles, here's hours. We have our conversion factor, we can move on. Put the number over 1. 300 miles over 1. What's above is below. So miles is on top, miles should be on bottom. If I come up here and I look for miles, I see 50 goes with the miles. That's equal to 1 hour. The equivalency is on the top. Now go from left to right. 300 times 1 divided by 50. That brings us to 6 hours. And I hope you feel more comfortable about how to do conversions now.